Welcome to Cold Brew Finance's end-of-day world currencies, stock markets and commodities wrap-up for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. Kicking things off, I'm Victoria Cashmore. Major currencies strengthened against the US dollar today. The greenback showed particular weakness against the British pound, experiencing strong downward volatility and nearly touching an all-time low during trading. Notable was an 8-day consecutive decline against the Japanese yen. Looking at returns, the dollar's weakness is evident across weekly metrics, with notable declines against the Swiss franc at -1.36% and the euro at -1.27%. Year to date, the dollar has fallen significantly against major currencies, down 8.7% versus the yen. Asian currencies showed mixed performance. The dollar broke lower against the offshore yuan after 4 days of consolidation. Against the Indian rupee, it managed a slight gain of 0.07%, breaking upward from 3 days of sideways movement. Year-to-date performance shows the US dollar notably weaker against the Singapore dollar, down 5.6%, and the New Zealand dollar, declining 5.8%. The only positive return comes against the rupee, though marginal at 0.04%.
Looking at global stock market tracking ETFs, I'm Max Profit. Indonesia leads today, rising 1.4% with strong upward momentum. South Korea and Norway show very strong positive trends, with Norway reaching a new all-time high. Taiwan and Philippines maintain strong upward trajectories despite more modest gains today. Looking at returns, Indonesia shows impressive month-to-date gains of 8.5%. Taiwan leads month-to-date performance with a 13.1% return. Norway demonstrates consistent strength with the highest year-to-date return at 21.5%, while South Korea has achieved a solid 16.1% gain this year. Among declining markets, Israel and Poland both fell 2.2% today. Brazil dropped 1.7%, breaking downward after 6 days of sideways movement. The S&P 500 declined 1.6%, while Austria fell 1.4% despite maintaining a very strong positive trend. Despite today's declines, longer-term performance remains positive for most markets. Poland maintains a strong 44.2% year-to-date return. Austria and Brazil show robust gains of 35.6% and 22.9% respectively this year. Israel has more modest gains, while the S&P 500 shows a slight year-to-date decline.
Considering commodities, I'm Liquidity. Gold futures and silver futures both closed higher for the 4th consecutive day, showing very strong positive trends. Aluminum futures rose nearly 2% to 2,417.50, while palladium futures displayed strong upward volatility. Looking at returns, silver futures leads the week-to-date performance at 3.5%. While gold futures shows the strongest year-to-date gains at 25.5%. Aluminum futures is the only metal showing negative returns for the year. In energy markets, crude oil futures fell 1.9% to 61.35, breaking downward after 4 days of sideways movement. Natural gas futures also declined 1.9%. showing a strong negative trend. Gasoline futures remains in a very strong positive trend despite today's slight decline. Energy returns show natural gas futures, leading week-to-date gains at 3.5%. Gasoline futures is the only energy component showing positive year-to-date returns at 6.6%, while crude oil has declined 14.5% this year. Live cattle futures surged 4.3% to reach a new all-time high at 214.20. Class 2I milk futures jumped 5% amid strong upward volatility. Corn futures rose for the fourth consecutive day despite its mixed negative trend. Reviewing returns, live cattle futures leads week-to-date performance at 5%. Lean hogs futures shows the strongest year-to-date gains at 22.4%, while Class 2I milk remains negative for the year. In grains, rough rice futures advanced 3.3% to 13.12. Soybean futures broke upward from 3 days of consolidation, showing a very strong positive trend. Wheat futures rose for the fourth consecutive day with increased volatility. Among grains, oat futures leads week-to-date returns at 4.8%. Soybean futures shows positive returns across all time frames, while wheat and rough rice remain negative year-to-date. In soft commodities, orange juice led gains, rising 4.7% to 275.85, marking its third consecutive up day. Sugar advanced 2.3% to 17.74. Cocoa declined 1.6% to 10,691, despite maintaining a very strong positive trend. Coffee futures broke downward after 3 days of consolidation. Looking at weekly returns, orange juice shows notable strength with a 9.9% gain, while cocoa leads month-to-date returns at 20.3%. Year-to-date, coffee futures remains the strongest performer with a 15.3% return, while orange juice has declined 43.8%.
And with that, we conclude another end-of-day world currency, markets and commodities wrap-up. I'm Victoria Cashmore, along with my AI co-hosts Max Profit and Liquidity. Thanks for watching. Look for daily wrap-ups every day just after 5 p.m. New York time. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Cold Brew Finance is an experimental project with market reports written, narrated and delivered totally by AI, with market data kindly provided by financialmodelingprep.com. Always seek professional financial advice before making any investment decisions. Check into the channel daily for coverage of stocks, crypto, currency and commodities. Thanks for watching.